Today, we're going to be speaking in a lot of code, okay? Now, in case you've never heard this before, we're a different group. We're a different ilk. We've been around for a long time, see? And we've had to learn how to speak in code because there's some stuff that our people know that others don't. So we're going to be talking about what's happening. We'll tell you what's going on in the big news, and I got to cover this kind of like the obligatory. These are the big hits, just like in the world of top 40. You got to play the hits, and some of these shows or some of these things we have to play in terms of the hits that are involved. But there's some other stories that I see people trying to kind of leech their way into. Lately, somebody sent me something of Candace Owens trying to kind of put her toe in the water regarding some subjects she knows nothing about. But that's okay. I encourage it. You keep going. You go, girl. Keep going there. Tucker Carlson, huh? I'm sorry. Oh, that's you. Tucker Carlson, by the way, is trying the same thing. He's going a little bit further. You go, boy. You go there. You try it. But we've been doing this for years. We've got 30 years or more behind us, so we know what's going on. So sit tight. And let me just tell you something. Let me just warn you. We're going to be speaking in a lot of code today, okay? Because as you know, you understand what I'm saying? The coast is not clear. Certain things are a little bit better, but let's don't push it. Okay? I've got a private channel. I do my other stuff. I can say whatever I want, and I have a lot of fun with that one. This, we have to speak in code. So if you're wondering, most of you who have been with us since the beginning will know what's going on. Because guess what's in the news today? Bohemian Grove. What? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's big. Also, the dirt on Gavin. This is the best. And how it all ties into that certain feller who was dispatched while in federal custody, who is the linchpin, whose data, recordings, hard drives have never been accounted for. And no one, not Jake Tapper, not Carl Bernstein, not Ducey, not Muschino on the front, nobody, not Hannity, not nobody. They don't even, to put it this way, they would be the worst homicide detectives. They wouldn't talk to anybody. They wouldn't, they're not suspicious. It's the weirdest thing in the world, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll invite them. Let's be kind to them. But remember, we're going to be speaking in code today, all right? Now let's get through some obvious things here. A couple of stories, just so that you can kind of see what's happening. We'll pay a little bit of attention to them, but nothing really is kind of interesting. And let's do the obligatory stuff, just the obligatory news stories, which are kind of important, okay? Okay? You understand this? Very, very important. Here's the first one.
Our nation. It was the character of George Washington, our first president, to find.
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. Let me shut this one down. Yeah, okay, hang on a minute. Let me try this again, dear friends. Nothing like having about 6 or 7 windows open at the same time. Let us see. There we go. Let's try this again. This is Joe. This is Joe giving his prompter read. His prompter read. By the way, they say his makeup is better. They're using morticians to do the makeup and the like. This is the prompter read of JoJo. Okay, this is his moment. This is his moment. or he's going to get to the bottom of this. He's going to get to the bottom of this. He's going to set the record straight, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to fix everything. Joe is going to correct everything. Listen to him. If you the other night at the debate, oh no, that was then he was over prepared. Yeah, that's it. And he had a cold. Yeah, but this is Joe at his best. Listen, watch the magnanimity of this man.
The outset of our nation, it was the character of George Washington, our first president, to find the presidency. He believed power was limited, not absolute.
Don't you love when right off the bat, when you're quoting George Washington, you know the country is just hanging on by every word? Yes, Joe. Yes. Maybe some John Marshall you can quote as well. Yes.
And that power always resides with the people. Always.
You would never know that with him, would you? You would never know that. You would never know that, especially the way you and that syphilitic meth mouth friend son, that evil spawn, have done everything in your power to skirt justice, you rancid coot.
Now, over 200 years later, today's Supreme Court decision, once again, it'll depend on the character of the men and women who hold that presidency,
right?
That are going to define the limits of the power of the presidency.
Not even close. Not even Joe, tell me in the decision where that was. Tell me. It's not there.
Because the law will no longer do it.
What?
I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years.
Really? Well, what about this one, Joe? Joe says, I'll respect the limitations of my power.
I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years. Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
There we go. One more time.
I know I will respect the limits of the presidential powers I have for 3.5 years. Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me.
They blocked me, but they didn't stop me because I'm Joe Biden and I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. And I don't know where I am and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm just up here and I'm reading whatever the hell it is they give me to read because I don't know what's going on. I'm Joe Biden, for God's sake. I'm Joe Biden. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I can't figure this thing out. Now, after he was done with his incredible his speech, right afterwards, after he was there to reinvigorate, to reassociate, to reconnect the people with the belief that he knows what he's doing. Watch him walk off as questions are yelled at him. We never took any questions. He just read from a prompter.
Democrats, why are you the best Democrat to beat Trump?
What makes you so confident you should be the president?
What advice did you grant him to president?
That's it. Is it? Now, a couple of more things, just so that we get into this. And Brad Rung, by the way, says, I don't know how they do it, new man. I do not know how they do it, new man. Okay? Nor do I, Brad, nor do I. Now, as you know, the government, the shadow government, the people that run the actual world, have their units. Those people involved, the people like CNN, MSDNC, ABC, they've got everybody. NBC, CBS, BBC, New York Times, Washington Post. They've got everybody. They've got it covered. The only ones that our folks have, ostensibly, is, of course, Fox News and that rat bastard Neil Cavuto. What he's doing on Fox News, I have no earthly idea. I am forced to watch that drivel because this is my iPad here, and they have little rotations. And I say, well, let me see what they're saying about this. And they will talk about some stuff. They've got this poor guy on there. He was saying, and the successor. Who is his successor? His successor? What does it mean? Somebody who successes? What are you talking about? Oh, successor. Oh, like success is the best revenge. Oh. He said, well, they never mentioned anything about bringing in SIL Team 6. Who? SIL Team. SIL? Like a windowsill? Joe Scarborough does that too. Joe Scarborough can't do long a SIL. We're going to put him in jail. You're going to put him in jail? Oh, my God. Morons. These are morons. This is the best you can do. This is the best you can do. Brad Rung says he's a new man. Never seen so many commercials in Philly area for an incompetent. Every commercial on CBS in the AM from 5-7, I see 5 a day. Crazy. 5 to 7. Well, you know what? They are very, very frightened. And of course, Trump's going to take, we believe, Pennsylvania. Yet again. You know things aren't good when you've got that CIA hack, this shill, this sock puppet.
Now allow the president to stand above the law, and Joe Biden's going to stand in the middle of that. He's going to build a better and stronger economy.
I get all
so that people can continue to work hard.
Listen, I get all that.
Why do you all keep,
you're making a good case.
You all keep dismissing.
No, because 72% of voters said that Biden lacks the mental. 72% of voters said Biden lacks the mental health for the presidency after the debate. That's up from 65% before the debate and 36% in June of 2020. That's obviously, I would think, a huge concern for you.
Anderson, there's no question that it's a huge concern.
Well, act like it. You know what else isn't a huge concern for these folks? Trying to comply and jibe with this reference.
Terry, we did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police?
This is incompetent.
The National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
Okay, stop. Why is she wearing that mask?
That is not a question of how they don't know.
Okay.
They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Okay, let me stop. In case you just tuned in, rule number one. Imagine you were in a mental hospital, and you meet people for the first time who, well, you've never been to a mental hospital. You've never been there before. You don't know how these people act. And the first rule I have for you is do not think for a moment that anything makes sense. All we do is we gauge behavior. We look at what they do, how they act, but we don't know why. Ladies and gentlemen, Cheated No More says, I rarely make it to a live chat. Thank you, Lionel. I appreciate you very much. Well, thank you, Cheated. And as I was saying, sir, or ma'am, or they, as I said, the rules don't make any sense. The behavior doesn't make any sense. None of it does. So we don't know why they do it. So let me try to say something once and for all, and we're going to explain this. Number one, Sotomayor's dissent. Irrelevant. It doesn't matter. Number one, dissents are for losers. Dissents mean you lost. Now, I know that's a pretty tough, because if you look at the Morrison defense, or dissent rather, that Nino Scalia wrote, oh my God, that became the end of the special counsel. There's special counsel, special prosecutor. There's these incredibly fascinating stories, but this notion of Morrison, let me get the citation for you. This is the most important one there was. Morrison against Olson. This is 1988. This was the story. This is the case that established the independent counsel, and in 8-1 majority, 8-1, the lone dissent was Nino Scalia. 8-1. It was unbelievable. He was the lone voice against the notion of these. It seemed rather, I don't know what the word was, rather, I guess you might want to say, arcane at the time. But his dissent became the basis of the law changing later on in 90, whatever it was. It's one of the most famous dissents ever. There have been other dissents in Paul's graph, and there's been other dissents. Who was it? The great Cardozo. Was it the Cardozo dissent in Paul's graph that talked about? Remember the fireworks case? Everybody in law school reads Paul's graph, and all of these wonderful the way these things are framed. But when you're watching Greg Jarrett, bless his heart, Turley, Andy McCarthy, I love, and Alan Dershowitz, who's a genius, who predicts everything. If anything happens, Alan Dershowitz predicted it. Everything. He's a genius. He knows everything. Smartest man who's ever, he knows ask him. He'll tell you. Okay. But we need a little time. And I'm going to go a step further. Do not expect 4 morons sitting on a couch in the morning show talking about the Supreme Court, reading one line or whatever from Sotomayor. Now, with all due, I'm not trying to defend her, but they know nothing of her jurisprudence. They know nothing about the times when she has wrote in concurrence and in agreement with the majority. They've never explained, well, here's what a dissent is, and there's obiter dicta, there's things you say. You should have seen this stuff that Scalia wrote. He was the most prolific. Oh, read the Lawrence case about the sodomy law. He struck that. He dissented in the striking down of the sodomy law. Read that one. Read, what's the gay? Not gay marriage, Obergefell, or whatever the pronunciation is. Fantastic. He writes some of the most scathing, sarcastic, beautiful dissents in the history of the Supreme Court jurisprudence, of the bar, so to speak. It's wonderful. Absolutely, he's wonderful. But what does it mean? It means nothing. It doesn't matter. And I wish that Republicans would say, ignore her. Stop letting the left determine what you're going to say. We don't care. We don't care what Sotomayor says. Let her say whatever she wants, provided you buy her book. Nobody cares for that. If you want to talk about the Supreme Court, who stole the Dobbs memo? You don't need Quincy or Perry Mason or Sherlock Holmes to figure this out. It's a group of people, very, very small, in the Supreme Court. They know exactly who stole it, who breached Supreme Court security, but they stopped. Who was the one who allowed Supreme Court justices to, number one, to receive no protection whatsoever? Nobody's talking about that. You see what we do? You must understand this. In our country, we just forget things, and we're sick of it. And we're not going to waste our time talking about whether Rachel Maddow agrees who gives a rat's arse. Now, I'm going to say this, and you already know this. We already know this. Justice Roberts and the majority did not say that a president can do anything he wants. You got that? You got that? You got that? Are we clear about that? Anybody remember Anwar al-Awlaki? Anwar Nasser Abdullah al-Awlaki? An American citizen born in Las Cruces, New Mexico, killed, zapped, murdered, dispatched expurgated, Baudelarized, made a grease spot by one Barack Hussein Obama. Is that against the law? He killed an American citizen? Is that against the law? Is it? I don't know. He killed an American citizen? What if he decides to get you when you're in Paris? You're walking down the Champs-Élysées and some hellfire missile gets you? Is that murder? Is that, will you tell me, is he acting within the purview, the confines, within the ambit, the range of his office? I'm asking you a question. Anybody want to talk about that? Nobody wants to talk about Barack Obama. This was an American citizen. Yeah, but he wore a funny hat. His name was Al-Awlaki and looked like one of those terrorist dudes. Do you think Obama might have been a bit grateful for this immunity thing? Do you believe he was acting within the scope of his presidency? I do. Do you understand this? I understand this. Regarding Trump, talk about the immunity law. I am. I am. Hello. That's what we're talking about. Raul. It's what we're talking about. It's what this is it. This is what we're talking about. I'm talking about it. Because they love to play with this Sotomayor thing, which is ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. We need this. And the Supreme Court said it doesn't matter the motivation behind it, the subjective reason, the intent of whether the president utilizes this or not. If he's acting within the scope of his presidency, he can do a lot of stuff. Presidents cannot be thinking, you know what, I'm not going to do this. Well, they could prosecute me for this. Who was it who said one time? Was it Eisenhower? Was it Eisenhower who said something to the effect of, if we lose, we're going to be war criminals? Or, I mean, he's acting within the scope of his jurisdiction of general. But if you lose, you're a war criminal. So this is a critical statute, and nobody ever says that they could send in SIL Team 6. He never said that. We always knew this within the purview. If President Biden or Trump or Clinton or Obama goes out and shoots somebody in the front lawn of the White House, he is not going to be immune. Period. You can't do whatever you want. So why Sotomayor and others are saying that? I don't know. I don't particularly care about that. And nobody's talking about that. Well, I guess. I mean, your Fox News crew with Cavuto, they got to bring on Bill Barr and make him explain. Why are we stopping what we're doing to discuss some dingbat interpretation of this? This is embarrassing. This is a dissent that's embarrassing, or at least this dicta, so to speak, is embarrassing. Does it matter? No. This is the best news ever. We have to remember, we determine what we're going to talk about, not them. I wish to God one day the right, whoever it is, would sit there and say, we're not talking about this. Why? This is irrelevant. We're not going to let Rachel Maddow determine what we're going to talk about. We're not talking about this. Period. End of discussion. Now, is the president going to be a part of some type of a vendetta? What does that mean? What does that mean? You don't think that Obama has a vendetta, or Biden, or the Biden administration? What are we talking about? Now, here's the issue. This is the one. Are you ready for some dirt? I don't think it's dirt. I think it's critical. Let me ask you something, dear friends. Who's going to be the nominee? Who is going to be the nominee in 100? Let me say this again. In 126 days. Who is going to be the nominee? Raul says, my bad. You are not bad at all, my good friend. I just want to let you know, your wish is my command. Who's going to be the nominee, Raul? Who? Biden? Come on, Biden, face it. Listen to Faye. Biden. I hope they keep Biden. Okay. Biden. Who else? Come on. Everybody. Right in. Kamala Harris. Interesting. Edie Crowley's got that one. Tim Walz. Thank you. Joe. Pete, by the way, Pete Weeks knows him as Joe. Not Biden, Joe. Biden. Newsom. Okay. Interesting. Gavin. Okay, here we go. Okay. Me. No, it will not be me, but thank you very much, Ron. Okay, someone with a pulse. Okay, rule number 1. You ready? What do you want to know about Gavin Newsom? Why Gavin Newsom? I'm going to give you some rules right now, and I want you to listen to me carefully, and I want you to think about this like you've never thought about them before. This is what I've noticed. This is what I've learned from my years of doing this. Ready for this? Okay. Rule number 1. Do not expect these people to make any sense. They don't care whether what they do makes sense or not. Look at what they did with Biden. They actually they're saying, oh, he's doing a great job. Why they needed Biden, I have no idea. Biden, the son, all this other kind of stuff, I have no idea. Burisma, they know all about that. They don't care. If you were possessed with the belief and the understanding and the reality that you would never be given a speeding ticket, you're going to be speeding. You're going to be driving as fast as you want. You're going to be reckless because you know no one will stop you. Believe it or not, you will be you'll go through red lights. I mean, you won't risk your life, but you're not going to wait. You know, like that red light at 2 a.m. when there's nobody there. You know, you got to. These people run their lives. Okay, let me bring this story. Here comes Gavin Newsom. Now, when Gavin Newsom was brought up, remember his connection to the Newsoms, the Browns, the D'Alessandros, who by the way, that's Pelosi's family. The Browns, D'Alessandro, Newsom, Pelosi's, and the Gettys. The Getty. That's their money. The Getty family. You know any Gettys? You know any? Remember the guy that took his ear off? That was John Paul J. Paul Getty. How about this dude Balthazar Getty? Isn't that a great name? Balthazar. Remember these names. Just remember them. Kind of in the biz, independent. You know they're out there, just like the Rothschilds. Do you know them? You know their names? How about the fella married to Nikki Hilton? They're out there. You really don't know their names, but the Gettys. Getty, you never heard about them. I mean, you kind of knew them. Getty Oil, Getty this, Getty Lee from Rush, you know, that kind of stuff. But that's about it. They're there. You got that? Okay. Now, when Gavin Newsom was the governor, the mayor of San Francisco, who were some other famous mayors? Willie Brown. You've got a lovely daughter. Willie Brown. And who was Willie Brown? Who was it? Kamala Harris. And who else? Kamala Harris? Montel Williams. Remember this? Kamala just came out of nowhere. She was this, and they love doing that. You, and then you. I'm going to pick you. And you're going to be my protege. And you got that one? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Sorry, but it's true. And Kamala says, hey, no problem. I'll be, as long as I get what I want, I'll do it. You don't mind, Kamala? Oh, it's okay. Willie Brown, famous. Remember Willie Brown? Remember at the time, right around the time of 9/11? By the way, Candace Owens, a new topic. She loves 9/11 now. You notice that? Have you noticed that? For some reason, they said, oh, go with that. I said, better late than never. Okay. You sure you want to go there? Yeah, all right. Okay, fine. All right. But anyway, but there was Willie. And he was there, and he knows a little bit about where the bodies are buried. And who was he married to? Whom was he married to? Kimberly Guilfoyle. Current fiance, though this might be the longest engagement in the history of humankind. And of course, Dershowitz predicted that because, but during this particular period of time, they've got these folks. So we've got Kimberly Guilfoyle, who now is Don Jr.'s fiance, who was married to Gavin. Got it? Okay. Imagine that time. You're young. He's the governor of San Francisco. California royalty. Got the Getty family. They put him in these businesses where he ran this restaurant and that restaurant and that. Restaurants. What do restaurants have? Waiters, waitresses, bartenders, hostesses. Ooh. Just remember this. Just put the over there. Plus, you're suavecito. You are the guy, you're the mayor of the hottest town. And you're part of mafia world. And you got Kimberly as your wife for a while. And Kimberly, you know this. Remember this? Remember when she would come out all the time and dance? Because she thinks she's a siren that when people see her, they just collapse over her raw sexiness. Dancing. On January 6th, remember this? Gloria. She came out and she thinks. You notice how she's nowhere to be found now. You don't even see her. You don't even hear from her. What's going on with that? Remember when she did this commercial? I saw her for steaks. She was like barbecuing indoors. I still don't know. I think I'm the only one who saw that. I go, what the hell is this? And here I am grilling. You're grilling inside? Anyway. Hear me out. Because remember, everything I'm saying, there are dossiers, information like you cannot believe. When you're Joe Biden and you're Donald Trump, you've got access to some of the most powerful people in the world. Billions of dollars of projects and monies are on the line. And you're going to have every bit of access from intel, past intel, CIA, foreign, Five Eyes, Mossad, MI6, anything you need. California State Police, FBI, you've got everything. And the first thing they're going to do is tell us the dirt on Gavin. What do you got? And it's going to be, as some believe, a hoot. I mean, more stuff. I'll just leave it at that. Just leave it at that. But understand something. Nothing's ever gotten in the way. And his current wife, and Willie Brown. And let's bring up some other things too. I'm going to bring up two names for you, okay? Two names which make this even more interesting. Because remember, what did I tell you? The two industries you got to understand right now that are the most important is human trafficking and extortion, blackmail, things like that. Human trafficking, extortion, blackmail. It's called data. It's called intel. That's all it is. Now, let me ask you a question. And think about this. You've got right now this group of folks, and there's two people I'm thinking of. Recently, there's this feller whose name we can't mention, but he met his demise miraculously in a federal holding cell. And lo and behold, they're releasing stuff a little bit. Where are the hard drives? Where is it? If I've got everybody from Silicon Valley to Wall Street to you name it, to venture capitalists, heads of state, and I have them in compromising positions, I control the world. Now, you've got to ask the question, why would they be so stupid as to involve themselves in this? I told you before, and this is something we have to understand. These are folks who don't care. When you're Bill Gates, when you're Bill Clinton, when you're, I go down the list, they're going to say, you have Secret Service, you have every kind of intel there. They all work together. When you're Bill Gates, you've got the best of the best. You've got people who are still connected, and they're going to say, Mr. President, yes, I'm going to explain something to you. This plane you're going on, it's wired for sound. It's a recording studio. Watch what you say. This guy is so dirty. We know all about him. Everybody does. Prince Andrew, what are you doing? MI6, what are you doing? You're going to compromise the crown, the monarchy. What are you doing? Why do they allow this? I don't know. Get used to this. I don't know. I don't know. Why would the Democratic Party allow somebody that they've got more dirt on, Gavin Newsom or Joe Biden or Bill Clinton? Why do they do this? Do you mean to tell me that they can't find anybody? Simple. Remember, I'm telling you this. They don't care. It's a very simple thing. They just don't care. Okay. So 2 names. One, the guy who, and where do you think his stuff is? Where do you think that is? Where do you think all of that information? Where is it? Somebody might hint a little bit about this. They have all these. Have you noticed how the internet is filled with ex-CIA? I'm ex-CIA. I'm ex-Navy SEALs. I'm I was in the mob. Really? Yeah. And I'm supposed to believe you. Yeah. And you're telling us all about this. Oh, yeah. I was CIA. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, I was a part of this group. I was a part of that. I was a part of the Bin Laden thing. Really? Yeah. You're telling people this? Yeah. You think maybe somebody might be upset about that? And maybe, well, everybody's everything. They're like Dershowitz. I predicted that. Who are you? I found that German guy with the mustache. Yeah, wait a minute. You're not old enough. Doesn't matter. I'm a time traveler. Oh, you're a time traveler. Say whatever you want. Whether it's that event that happened in Dallas in 1963 or anything else, you can say anything you want. And the best part about it is that how are you supposed to figure out who's telling the truth and who's not? You don't know. Because you hear so much stuff. I cannot believe, it's like, excuse me, are you going on the Lex Friedman podcast? Why are you telling people about operational stuff, how we did this, how we did that, where you were? What if somebody says, wait a minute, hey, Ahmed, yeah, that guy, wasn't that the guy you said, yeah, he's CIA. Why? Because he's on the Lex Friedman podcast. Wait a minute. The guy he was working, he's still here. You don't think you're putting people's lives at stake? What about all the mafia people? Well, I was in the Gambinos. I was this. I was that. I was a hitman. I did this. I did work. Did you do work? I was made. He's a rat. Everybody, there's like 4 or 5 people, same thing, just telling these stories. Do you believe it? Okay, I guess. Does anybody keep their mouth shut? Apparently not. So in the middle of all of this, there's this stuff out there. It's like, you got to figure out, okay, that's real, and that's not real. Remember this, today, whenever something happens in the world, whatever the event is, about 1 million people are talking about it, and maybe 5 or 10 out of the million are speaking the truth. Okay, so there's one more person involved in this whole thing. Who is that? Harvey Weinstein. Who? Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein is so, he can't see straight. He's sitting in his cell. And the last person I would ever want, ever, to have him mad at me is Harvey Weinstein. Why Harvey Weinstein is still with us, God bless him, knock on wood, I have no idea. I have no idea. If one day Harvey Weinstein, who looks like walking death, if one day they were to wake up and Miskino, he went in this, oh, well, his health was not good. It certainly wasn't. Was not good at all. Thank you, Peter. Good man, Petey. Nobody would say anything. You wouldn't need to do him like others. It would be simple. Simple. Why he's there, I have no idea. Again, none of this makes any sense to me. Do you know when you're in federal or any particular facility, there was a thing in the business called noose on a bun. And the euphemism refers to different types of potions and poisons that can be added over a period of time gradually, or like compounds. You take this, but when you take this, and then when it breaks down into potassium or different levels of compounds and substances that are normal in bodily makeup. Okay, fine. This guy made Hollywood. He owns Hollywood. The shadow government owns Hollywood. He owns Hollywood. Shadow government owns him, owns them. He knows about the Clintons. He knows about everything. And he's been abandoned. And what does he really know about? California. Like nobody else. Well, come on, Hollywood? California. He knows everything. If you think that you've seen intel, folks, wait till you see the guys who go to work for studio heads, for what's going on in Hollywood. They have to know everything. When you have a gazillion-dollar production and you have insurance and you've got this one's, remember Jack Waltz? Remember the story with him? And during The Godfather, he goes, she was beautiful. That kind of, you have to know who exactly are your people. You have insurance, you've got this, you've got that. What are they doing? What are they not doing? And can we own them? Remember what I told you, trafficking and extortion. What am I trying to say? What am I getting at? What I'm getting at is Gavin Newsom, they know everything he's ever done. And I will never, ever say anything unless I know it to be true. But if what I'm saying, if what I'm hearing, it's rational, it would stop everything. Or would it? Or have we become so habituated to this? I got news for you. I'll tell you one the other day I heard. I'm not going to mention the name, but I'll tell you one I heard, which is so beautiful. We're talking about this person. And I said, oh, yeah, they've got kids. And the person I knew said, no, they don't. Yeah, they do. No, they don't. Wait a minute. What do you mean? I saw them with kids. Those aren't their kids. They say they're their kids. I know they say they're their kids, but they don't have any kids. Who's going to prove that? Who knows who the kids are? I never thought about it. I said, you're right. Absolutely right. There's another one. I'm not going to mention, just to give you an idea. Group of people. They've never been to school. Nobody's ever been to high school. They're uneducated. The whole group. They've never been to school. I mean, maybe grade school. Nothing. Who checks on them? Nobody. Aquaman. You ask, where is Kimberly Guilfoyle? Probably wherever they are keeping Jared Kushner, right? Well, you know what's funny about Jared? Jared's an interesting story. Jared is extremely important, and it's a good point. With BB, remember, rumor has it that when BB would come to this country, he would sleep in, I don't know if it's true, stay in Jared's family, or who knows. He is so connected with that. When Jared Kushner sat in front of people and said that Gaza would make beautiful, oceanfront property, they said, that's it. That's it. Even Israel says, that's it. No. You're right. You're right about that. But no, because Jared Kushner, he's one of these people, like I told you. Remember what I told you at first? They don't care. I'll say whatever I want. I'm Jared Kushner. I'm a billionaire, maybe. I don't know. I don't care. My old man's going to be president again. Whatever. I keep my. They don't care about this. That's why. Anybody hearing anything about Israel? Tony Blinken going anywhere? Nope. Wait till you see this stuff. It just goes away. How about Zelensky buying it? See about the $5 million Bugatti? Nope. No. Because let me tell you what they do. They think we're stupid. Here's their pen, little pen light. Let me try this again. They go like that, and we run. The little cat, follow the light. Now we're going to go over here. Now we're talking about Sotomayor. What? Yeah. Oh, okay. Right, Rachel? Yeah. You're on 1 day a week? Yeah. 35 mil? Follow this. Okay, sure. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. What about Israel? Mm-mm. What about Ukraine? Mm-mm. Nope. And ready for this? Guess what's gearing up again? Bohemian Grove. Wait till you hear this one. This is the best. This is the best. This is where, see, if I had a party, October the 26th at the Cutting Room, I'm going to, 10 days before the election, this is going to be the best one ever. I mean, this is going to be one for the ages. But if I had a party, and I would say this to you, DARPA, come on in. How many people do you know would say, what? HARP. HARP? No. Wait. Bilderberg. Who? Bohemian Grove. Who? How long have you heard about Bohemian Grove? How long have you heard about it? How long have you heard about it? Raise your hand. I've heard about it forever. There's pictures of Reagan and Nixon. Everybody went. North California, the owl and this, Alex Jones exposed it. They're coming back. They miss it. They're coming back. Well, I don't know if it's official. Wait till you see the people who, you need people to run it. You need staff, whatever. Wait till you see who they're getting for that one. They're not going anywhere. They're still there. They're still there. These people love to feel, and this is something, I don't know if Candace Owens knows this. You know this. I know this. We don't countenance this kind of behavior. Since the days of, we first heard about Skull and Bones and all these secret societies, we're not talking about a fraternity. We're not talking about a sorority. We're talking about groups of people who are members of clubs. And it goes back to well before the Ivy League, but back to the days of the British system, the dining clubs, and so everybody wants to be in the elite group, not of cool people, but powerful people. I remember FDR wanted to be in this one group which was exclusive at Harvard. The secret societies, that's Yale. Harvard didn't really have that. Remember, Yale went CIA, Harvard went State Department. Different mentality. There were others. There's, Skull and Bones to an extent. Do you believe for a moment this new iteration of Skull and Bones? They'll put some people in there. Do you really think that there's one Skull and Bones? Do you really think that? Do you think there's just one level of it, one group, and that's it? Like, hey, bring in the Indian girl with it. Sure, yeah, you're in Skull and Bones. See? It's no big deal. Black guy, Indian girl, Italian guy, gay, come on in. Well, anyway, see? Yeah. There we go. We're just an organization. We're just lovable. There's nothing secret going on here. Do you really think that that's the level? That that's what you see? Do you really think that? They love this stuff. And by the way, there are other groups too. And let me tell you something, as the pendulum comes back as a wrecking ball, there are many groups of people, especially in the elites, who really miss that. They don't know what's going on here. They're sending their kids to these various classes, and they're saying this DEI stuff is destroying everything. Who were these morons? It used to be when you would go and you would summer with Dickie and Muffy, and you would sail on the, when you go to Nantucket and wear the pink shorts. Think Tucker. Tucker is classic American blue blood. Sandals, not sandals, loafers without the socks, khakis. He's Tucker, his brother's Buckley, that kind of crowd. They love this. And they have been so without it. Judas Goat says Bohemian Grove's motto was weaving spiders, come not here. Ironic. Interesting. They're coming back. They're here. They're and when you tell people this, there's a lot of, that's all I'm going to tell you. I'm never going to say something unless I know it to be true. I'll tell you the subject matter, but I'm hearing all kinds of stuff about, who are these people and where are they getting, whatever. That's rumor, and what are you going to do? Completely legal. But let me see if I can explain this to you. Remember something. These people do not care for you. We are not in their wheelhouse. We are not in their world. They think they are better than we are. You understand that, right? And that goes for everybody. Whether it's Tucker, whether it's Ducey, whether it's, many people, I hate to say it, even in the Trump group, because they think they're just better. That we love him, but when you're in that ilk, they figure, oh no, Jared Kushner thinks he's way above you. You're hoi polloi. You're just pedestrian. Me, I'm just some schmuck doing this thing. They think we're nothing. Oh yeah? Keep thinking that. It's the safest thing in the world. Always be underestimated. Always sandbag your opponent. Never let them know the truth. And they think this. So what's happening is, watch what happens. For the longest time, they have gone without any detection whatsoever. Why do you think Hunter Biden has been allowed to go on for so long? Because Joe Biden believes he is not susceptible to any kind of concern. Let me see if I can say this again. They don't think the rules apply to them. Goes for the Kennedys. They may be the worst. But worse, Bobby Kennedy is in La La Land. Bobby Kennedy, I don't even know what he's talking about. Bobby Kennedy could walk in and be the governor of California like that. Gavin's termed out. Bobby lives there. Walk in, take care of everything. Bring that ditz, that Shanahan, who doesn't know what she's talking about. I don't know what read her. I tried following some of her stuff on X. Because Bobby Kennedy says, I'm Bobby Kennedy. I don't have to worry about this. You're raised like this. You're in this world where you're thinking, I don't have to. We're better than you. We're American royalty. I know they don't want to tell you that. But the only thing good about Bobby Kennedy is that when he strayed away from them, first with the vaccines, because the other family are absolute suck-ups. They are parasitic little twits who follow whatever the Democratic folks do. They just follow this. This is one of the most interesting races right now. So as we speak, let's regroup. You've got the Democrats, not the rank and file, but the money people, the big shots, people who are saying, listen, I've got billion dollar plans ready to go. I'm ready to make deals with groups from globalist organizations, from NGOs. Schwab is not going anywhere. You've got, believe it or not, don't forget, Victoria Nuland and her husband, the Kagans and the Newlands. They're not really neocons, but they're really war profiteers. They're standing by. They don't know what's going on with, NATO and this. You've got this entire world that is completely shifting. How about those organized riots? See the riots in France? You think that was spontaneous? You think those people are rioting because what? Because the right winger in there How about we're going to organize riots in order to make the world see, you don't want right-wingers. Edie Crowley says, Mr. L, could you tell us again about your next event at the cutting room? Date and time, thanks. I love you, Mrs. L. Well, thank you so much. I'll tell you right now, I will give you this link. If ever you want anything, you go to my front page. I've got it pinned on my X or my Twitter account. It is right here. I'm going to put a link right here for you and yours to review. There it is. Now, let's go back to what's going on right now. This is huge. Or as we say in the kitchen, huge. This is bigger than anything anybody has ever imagined. The world is changing seismically. And I can't believe that we're actually talking about Gavin Newsom. Now, I have been saying this. I sound like Dershowitz, but I can prove it. I can show you. Because I've been hearing about this forever. And there are people who feel that nobody's past ever catches up with them unless you're President Trump. Nobody's past. Joe Biden, the whole story with his wife and the accident and Jill and never came up. It doesn't come up. You kind of know it's like, oh, it's okay, whatever. Okay, fine, that's it. Never came up. Did you ever hear the real story about the Bush family with Prescott Bush? No, absolutely not. Summer of Love, pallets of bricks lift for rioters. Remember that one, Pilgrim? Let's hope that's not true. Let's hope that's not true. Let's also hope we don't have Kamala and others basically advocating. Remember how they were openly advocating for supporting these rioters and the like? Remember that? By the way, she's gone. You know that, right? Kamala's gone. She's gone. She's done. She's finished. They're going to put her out to pasture. She might be I don't know. Believe it or not, president of a university. She could be. She did her job. And let me go back to something I want to tell you before, which is also important, which is critical. Let me see if I can explain this. Why would anybody ever pick Kamala Harris? Why? Why would anybody pick Kamala Harris? Why? Why? What was the purpose behind this? There are so many great, smart, wonderful, brilliant people of every. You want a black woman? You want a black man? You want a gay black woman? You want a gay black woman man? You want a Polynesian, Hawaiian gay black woman? What do you want? They are there. They are at the office. You name it. Great background, great family, great history. Wonderful. They don't do that. Why? Why, class? Because they don't care. They don't care about us. We mean nothing to them. They think that we're just going to just sit back and say, okay, whatever. That's why when Trump comes along, it changes everything. See, what you're seeing right now is so wonderful. It is so beautiful. It transcends everything. I love this. The left, the Democrats, are in total disrepair. Class, ask the question. But why didn't you do anything about Joe before? Answer, they don't care. They have nothing to account for. They don't have to worry about anything. They don't care. They're not interested in what you think. They're not interested in what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. They don't care who's morally right. They don't care. They don't care about troops, wars. They want somebody who comes in. In fact, they prefer somebody who is compromised, who will do what they say when they want it. And you know who doesn't do that? Trump. Let me say something about this, and this is critical. People may not like to hear this, but I'm going to tell you the truth. Trump is remarkable. I mean, he is absolutely remarkable. Brad Oplin says, I love Kamala. It's her turn. It certainly is. Barry Taylor says, how poignant. Harvey was convicted of assaulting Newsom's wife. Regardless of how powerful Harvey was, they took him down. Well, it's funny. It's funny about that. Why would you take somebody down? Why would you take somebody down who can destroy you? In the particular trial, Jennifer Siebel Newsom gave tearful testimony, nearly screamed through tears as she told the court about Harvey did various things to her and it was terrible. Oh, Harvey's a bad dude. Harvey's a bad dude. But here is the thing. And I know this sounds terrible. Why is Harvey still here? I don't understand this. Why is what Harvey can do nothing but hurt people. Harvey serves no purpose to anybody anymore, unless his presence is posing a threat. I don't know how these people work. I don't know how they think. I love when they say, will Trump be involved in any kind of a vendetta? Look at the Clintons. Look at the Clintons. If you look at the amount of people who have been dispatched from an actuarial point of view, it defies the odds for them to have had so many people fall victim to so many accidents. It defies anything. Johnny Maz says, no response regarding Nord Stream 2, no response regarding Nord Stream 2, nothing. Johnny, you don't understand. I don't understand. I shouldn't say, of course you understand. They don't answer your questions. They don't ever get to the bottom of anything. Whatever happened to Lahaina? You want to play that? Whatever happened to Lahaina? All those people in Hawaii, what happened? I don't know. Have they been made home? I don't know. Is it true that Oprah and The Rock were buying all this stuff? I don't know. What about the people who said they saw different things? Oh, they're made fun of. Remember that? Marjorie Taylor Greene? I don't know. We just don't talk about it anymore. Whatever. It's done. I told you, if I had a TV show, which of course is ridiculous because one day saying TV show is going to be like saying you have an album or something. It's going to be this relic of something which doesn't even make sense anymore. But if I had a TV show or something like it, I would have this woman named Mabel or something. And she would come out, she would wear like a muumuu or something. She'd be a nice old lady. And we'd wheel out this kind of like this dry erase board, but we'd have Post-it notes. And we'd say, Mabel, write down Lahaina fires, Hawaii. Put that up. Thank you, Mabel. Mm-hmm. Mabel, bring out the board. Let's go back and look. Here we go. Remember that feller Paddock? The sniper in Las Vegas? Anybody find out about him? Nope. That was impossible what he did. The ammo he carried, it was impossible. Nothing. Nobody. You see where Carl Bernstein all of a sudden now is he's weighing in. Carl Bernstein is one of the most this guy, his story is the wildest thing anybody has ever known. His background. He in this fiction about, Watergate. America bought that hook, line, and stinker. Ben Bradley, Graham, Catherine Graham. It's all nonsense. And who was responsible? What was one of the biggest claims to fame of the Graham family in Washington? Operation Mockingbird class. You've heard of this. See, we know this, but most civilians, if you said Mockingbird, what are you talking about? They have no idea. They're of no interest. How can a country be expected to understand and elect presidents when they don't know anything? Nothing. When they don't know. So back to what we have right now. Trump is doing great. Rule number one, my friends, remember this. Polls mean nothing. When you get Frank Luntz with, I think, the world's worst tube in the history of humankind, the worst. It's like trafficant kind of, I don't know what that is. It's just this weird. And what's his name from Argentina? Milei? I don't know what that thing is. But anyway, when they say, well, he's leading, he's up by a point. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. These polls mean absolutely nothing. Absolutely, positively, nothing. That's number one. Number two, what will bring these people down is that they don't care. They think that they can do whatever they want, and they just... Years ago, in some neighborhoods, when the mob was really the mob, they could act with impunity because nobody in their right mind would ever drop a dime on them or call the cops or inform. Never. They would be themselves dispatched for doing that. Nobody ever did that. And they acted with impunity. They just did. Okay? There are people who act, again, they don't care. And sometimes you get away with murder, literally. JFK. In the middle of a Friday afternoon or 12:30 in the afternoon, in front of everybody, they don't care. I can't say this enough. Camouflage means nothing. Stories mean nothing. They don't. During Lyndon Johnson, from Bobby Baker to Billy Saul Estes to everything he did was in the open. We have a president now whose son, it's in the open. When you have a guy who does finger painting and charges $500,000 for finger painting, and he can't be stopped or won't be stopped, Jim Jordan, and these are co-defendants, they're co-conspirators. We live in the most corrupt system there is, and we play this game as though it follows rules. Well, President Trump will receive the most nominees, and then after that selection, it's like the man's had to fight for every inch he's ever made, every single thing. He's why he's done this, I have no idea. I have no idea. No earthly idea. Why he has done this, I have no earthly idea. None. Why he doesn't say the hell with it. He's the only guy who's lost billions of dollars. And the people who hate him more are the Republicans. Why he does this, thank God he does. And the real question, my friends, is I don't want to be too negative about this, but when Trump goes, I don't know who's going to replace him. Can you think of anybody right now? Can you think who is the next Trump? Who is the next Republican that excites you, that makes you feel like he's got your best interests at heart? Who is the next Republican who you think is critical to the advancement of our society and the like? Who? I don't know. It scares me. And we can just throw names out, but I don't know what to tell you. Edie Crowley says, during the second term of Obama, I became disillusioned. At 7-Eleven in my neighborhood was over-the-counter political discussion. I spoke my mind. I was verbally threatened, and the police did nothing. Oh, absolutely. Edie, I got to tell you something. This is free speech is over, or was over in this country. We are the last bastions of the revolutionary spirit. Let me say something right now. God bless Steve Bannon. They are creating a hero, the likes of which they don't even know what they're doing. Steve Bannon, whatever his status was in terms of broadcasting, has now been multiplied tenfold. They don't understand. How do I say this again? They don't care. They don't care. Black Lives Matter. Never audited. Nobody prosecuted. Remember that woman, Colors, or whatever her name is? That monster. This screaming and yelling and absolutely, positively, no accountability whatsoever. Judas Goat Barbecue says, I think they hate President Trump most because he proved you don't have to be a politician and to be president, and he did it better than they did. Indeed. Another thing, too, he did, Judas, I think, was that he basically blew open this or destroyed the notion of the left-right paradigm. There is no left-right. There is no left-right. There is no left and right. There's no Democrats and Republicans. It's two sides of the same coin. He's a freak. He just is a Donald Trump. I don't think anybody has ever. I had a great talk with my friend yesterday, and he said, Ronald Reagan was the greatest president. I said, Ronald Reagan couldn't hold a candle to Donald Trump. Ronald Reagan could be Ronald Reagan. They loved Ronald Reagan. Some people didn't, but the people who loved him loved him. You didn't go out on a limb to support Ronald Reagan, but you do when you support President Trump. Sean Martin says, I was a target of a cancellation largely due to support for Trump. Better now. Oh, absolutely. Oh, I didn't even want to go through it. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to give my enemies any kind of acknowledgement. Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely. Oh, but you don't understand. It's made me crazed in a calm way. I'm worse now than I ever was. It's the worst thing you can do to me is tell me I can't do something. It's the worst thing. If you want me to lose interest, say, go ahead. Have at it. Knock yourself out. Not interesting anymore. Not interesting. I don't like doing what everybody likes. When everybody wants to go to nobody goes to the movies anymore, but when everybody wants to talk about something, some fad or something, I'm not interested. Oh, everybody's going to Taylor Swift. I don't want to go to Taylor Swift. Why? Because everybody's doing it. I just don't do it. Whenever the majority likes you, you're making a big mistake. You're making a huge mistake. There are two events that were the biggest in my life. One was in this one particular day in September in 2001. That was the red pill. That was it. That was rebirth. Not the same person. Everything I did, everything I thought, everything. I don't even know who I was. I don't know who I was before that. I don't know who I was. I was like lukewarm. I was like, okay. That was the first one. That's when I realized the government is a fraud. The government is the enemy. The government is the enemy. They are the Luca Brasi. They are the enforcers of a shadow government overview. And they come in different, they're either globalists or this, but they want to shut you down. And we are mice in a maze. We are part of some kind of weird experiment. We are this group of people who are a part of a laboratory experiment where people, they don't care. When Mrs. L, and by the way, let me tell you this much. This is, I'll tell you her red pill. Well, she saw stuff through me. I don't want to say tougher. I just don't expect anything, which is one of those things. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel. She cannot believe what they are doing to children. She can't believe it. It kills her. Part of her soul has died because she's not used to this. I you know, when I was 20, how old was I? I was 24. Yep, I was 24. I graduated from law school, went to work for the prosecutor. 24 years old. And I didn't know anything about crime. I didn't know anything about that. Did you know anything about that? I didn't know anything about that. Did you know about crime? Nope. Nobody I knew was involved in victims of crime and all that. Not really. Nope. Nope. Never really. Nope. No. Never really. No. Nobody. No. Nobody really. No. And every day I'm involved in just the worst thing possible. The worst. You go from this division, we got terrible things, and then you go to this division where we got terrible things. And then you go to misdemeanor, and then you start off with traffic, intake at first, and then traffic, and then misdemeanor, and then juvenile. That was the worst of the worst, and then felony. And every single day is horrible. It changed it's like, wow. We used to have these big boxes where you would have like files, and I had a box. There were 6 of us, and we had morning docket, afternoon docket, one division. And I've got my box. I said, every one of these people, every single one of these files is somebody arrested, violated, burgled, hurt, harmed. This is just my box for the morning. I got another box in the afternoon, and there's 6 of us, and there's, I don't know, 7 divisions or whatever. So I'm 24 years old. So I don't expect, nothing shocks me. Nothing. Nothing. I don't know about you, but when somebody says, we didn't have the internet then, how many crime scene photos and stuff we've been through? Oh my God. So I thought, I don't really expect much from human beings. So that was part of it, but nothing like that particular day in September 23 years ago. And then nothing like Donald Trump. Nothing. He knows this. When you sign on with Trump, you give up everything. The best thing to do is, like friends of mine said, you know what? He may be a great guy. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just sitting back. I'm not going to wear a hat, a button. I'm not going to say anything. Nothing. This may be the worst example ever, and I'm in no way trying to compare the two. But let me give you an example of something. We've been using the word anti-Semitic for the longest time, right? Oftentimes, and most of the time, incorrectly. But there was a time in this world when all of a sudden there was this vile, this antipathy, where Jews were anathema to people for reasons, and you can go back, whether it's because of the crucifixion, I don't know, but people were raised, and they said, those people are, and I never understood that. I was never raised at them. See, what did the Jews have? What did they, so what? So but leave them alone. It was like this. And Jewish folks would say, you don't understand what this is like. Now, I'm not trying to compare historical anti-Semitism to TDS. I'm not. But I have a little idea of what it means when all of a sudden people, your friends who won't talk to you anymore, your friends. How many of you have lost friends, family, Christmas, Thanksgiving? You're crazy. They don't talk to you. They hate you. It is. Now, I don't know about you. I know Mrs. L, who, by the way, her focus has always been children. She's less political than I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. Me, you don't understand something. I'm sorry to say this, I love it. I I've lived 1,000 lives. I have been it's so boring getting along with everybody. I love it. And all of my friends, there was a thing called Air America. I thought it was a radio station. I didn't know what liberals are. They failed for a variety of reasons. Those people think that I said, I never signed on to this. I'm in the radio. You wanted a morning show. That's all I want to do. I do they were like, okay, fine. Okay, terrific. Great. Now, here's the best part. These folks who said, we're liberal. Okay, fine. That's great. That's great. And we're this. Now, a lot of them are absolutely furious with what the left has done to Joe Biden regarding Israel. And look through the Abby Martin, Katie Halper, look at Brianna Joy Gray, look at the Crystal Ball, just go down the list. Amy Goodman, and this left, these classic prototypical, tie-dyed, Birkenstock, hippie, dippy, lefty types are furious, have walked away from Biden because of Palestine and Israel. Okay. Then you've got this other group of people. You think Judge Napolitano is some lefty? I don't think so. You think McGregor is a lefty? I don't think so. You think Jeffrey Sachs or John Mearsheimer? Hell no. You've got these people walking in lockstep with Amy Goodman. What? Ladies and gentlemen, left and right, it's over. It doesn't make any difference. Trump, Biden, there's no... And one more thing, and I'm going to say this to you, please. The nail in the coffin for more people, and I never realized this, was this lunacy regarding these demented trans predators who want to go in and destroy your child's innocence. That's where they drew the line. That was it. They said, that's it. Israel, whatever. Ukraine, whatever. Hunter, whatever. Immigration, whatever. Kids, remember Divine? Remember that scary looking thing with the wig and going into, libraries? That did it. That did it. This Tyler Cherry and what is this? Opening the White House up to these lunatics. Nobody gave a damn. Nobody cared about gay people. This isn't gay. This is predators. And the creme de la creme, the top of the cherry was Rachel Levine. And I don't just want to come in and scare your kids. I want them rewired surgically, chemically, hormonally. I want to eliminate scores of fecund, fertile, reproductive quality human beings. What does that sound like to you? Oh, baby. So listen to me. If you think this is about Trump versus Biden, you're missing the point. This is good versus evil. This is Manichean, baby. This is normal versus crazy. This is good versus evil. This is sane versus whatever. We are on a collision course. I don't know why. I don't know how anybody thought this is a good idea. Joe Biden doesn't believe this. Joe Biden. And instead of them saying, listen, we're going to have a rock solid, rock-ribbed, good, decent Democrat, good family, somebody that the Republicans can say, you know what? Married one time, just a regular decent couple that has kind of a centrist, left centrist type of ideology. Nothing scary, nothing about children. That would make sense, wouldn't it? That's not what they want. Why? Because of rule number one, I told you, they don't care. Let me say this again. They don't care. It's that simple. All right. An hour and 24 minutes. It's because I believe in this stuff, my friends. Oh, you got me wired now. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel. You got to see a new one, Dancing with the Devil. They're coming after your kids. You want to talk about Satanism and demons, and look what they're doing to kids. And look what they're doing and how they're using actual social media platforms to destroy your children's innocence. I'm not kidding you. I'm not exaggerating. Follow her. Lynn's Warriors on YouTube and on X or Twitter. Everybody else takes it and steals her stuff. And by the way, have you seen her piece on baby farms? Oh, dear God. Oh, dear. This is, you think yourself, no, you must be misunderstanding. Nope. It's that bad. It is that horrible. We are in the time of our lives, my friend. We are ready for Freddy. I'm telling you right now. This is something which I've never, ever thought was even remotely possible. Never thought any of this even possible. Seriously, I never thought it possible. So let me just say to you, my great and my glorious and my beautiful, incredible friends, let me thank you for this. Let me thank you for your timeliness, I'm trying to get an update as to you wonderful folks with super chats and the like Edie Crowley and others, but my list has been obfuscated, so I cannot grant that. Normally I like to spend a particular specific thanks and encomium, but I cannot do that. So forgive me, like Pilgrim and Edie, and I can't explain to you. But thank you for this. Thank you. Your kindness is so appreciated. Do not give up faith. Do not give up hope. Do not give up anything even remotely approximating a lack of, positive trajectory. I'm not in the least, and I know it's difficult. I know it's very difficult for people to do. But I'm telling you right now, this is the best time of our life. This is absolutely the best time. This is so much fun. We are, let me say this again, 126 days from election. All right, dear friends, thank you so much. Have a great and a glorious day. Don't ever change. I mean that sincerely. We'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. And until then, remember these final words, this valedictory, this adios, this denouement, so to speak. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. That.